still here in
Yay for the
2092,
ones that are
we'll throw a
still
party.
alive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm starting the broadcaster, by the way.
That only took, what, 18 years? Real good job, Kung.
JD, shut up! Let us have this! If we're still here in
Yay for the
2092,
ones that are
we'll throw a
still
party.
alive.
Alright, and it is broadcasting sound and audio, so we are going to get started. I hate the webcam on this laptop. Everybody just gets to look at my chin for the entire session. That's fine. I'll survive. Alright.
If your girlfriend were here, I bet she would say, it's a beautiful chin, though.
Who knows? She might be watching and she might say that on her own.
Oh, that's so bleh.
Alright, welcome to the
If
Ilderon
you're
Tales.
watching, jump into our chat right now and tell Brandon that he has a beautiful...
She would have responded in the live channel by now if she was watching.
Right, which is why I told you to get into the chat.
Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group A, Brandon's beautiful
I
chin.
interrupt Brandon's intro every single time.
Stop interrupting Brandon, he's opening.
No, I don't care. What do I need to go over? Oh yeah, if you're under the age of 14, you probably should consult your parents before watching this. We are going to be playing D&D tonight, Dungeons and Dragons. Everything you're going to see is live storytelling. And it is going to be fun on a bun. It is a role-playing game. There are books and rules and stuff that guide how we roll and do shenanigans, but otherwise, all the content's being created on the spot. What else? Oh yeah, we're playing in Ilderon. It is a world of our own creation, and the link is in the description. And I have not put this in the YouTube videos yet, but we have a website at www.ilderontales.com. Look it up; it's really cool. Yeah, let's get into this. Who wants to do the recap for last session, or should I handle it?
I could do it.
Alright, hit us up, or we can all take a piece of it. Alright, you can recap as much as you remember of last session, or you can do it from Sindri's perspective, and I will add on any additional details that are important for tonight, and try not to take more than 4 minutes.
Okay. So, from Sindri's perspective and beyond, at least for Group A, everything began where they had just arrived with the infamous person in custody, and they were met by members of the college that were security type, and messengers went out and other things happened, and she got escorted to the college. The party went with her to make sure that she was still secured. They met with the headmistress, yes, and Elena. Elena is the one that was captured and being dragged along. So she was brought to the headmistress and put into custody, and basically turned to stone for safekeeping. Then some conversations went on, and certain projects got put on hold, like trying to blow up various people across the entire world in an instant, and maybe that happened a bit later. But anyhow, people went and got some sleep, I believe, and then there was a few more encounters, and we met to interrogate this person. And so she was brought back to flesh, and everybody was on edge or sitting around a table or just doing their thing, and they kind of took turns interrogating her. And she was actually fairly cooperative, giving quite a few details of apparently what she was doing and why and who she was working with and what their kind of viewpoint was on what they were doing. And that involved the goddess Orania, like that, Lydia, yeah, the greater goddess of life, basically, that had brought everyone of the original races into being here on this planet, basically. Before she had left, she left some power and apparently some sort of a body or something behind. So that's kind of what they're working with, is this body, and apparently trying to almost force restore that goddess from her far plane into the body. Doing various rituals of gathering earth fire crystals and utilizing them somehow in this crazy ritual they're trying to pull off. So they think they're serving their goddess and her will, supposedly, and even though they're not noticing that they're forcing her to do something, in my opinion. Well, that's not important. Or is it? Yeah.
Who
So
knows?
that's about what I can remember. I know there's more details of what she talked about. Then she got sucked into a plane beyond our reach with ease in a quick instant. We couldn't do much about it. Fired a bolt and missed. An arrow. And there was some more. Well, there were definitely people who tried to injure her, heat metal, and knock her out, and things like that. That definitely happened, and nobody let her talk enough because she got sucked away, and we got less than we could have. So happy, violent people. Okay, and then
I think this
yeah,
is the only time anybody will ever call Group B violent people.
well, everybody that was there were pretty upset about the whole escape thing, and then we went on. A few people stuck around and talked to the guild mistress, and the rest of us went to rescue a dead member from the bottom of the ocean. Group A and B went on their way. So that's about what I can remember. Go ahead.
All right. Yes. So you guys teleported to the bottom of the ocean where you fought Elena at using the orb. I appreciate your input, Sonny, but I'm streaming right now, so please stop. Alright, my dog is just sitting here licking my elbow. I'll just go with that for tonight. You guys teleported to the bottom of the ocean, you recovered Alward's body, and then you teleported to the top of Mount Motomalima. It is the volcano in Red Axe. Oh my gosh, could you stop? Alright, I'm good. Alright, so, it is the afternoon of the, or actually it's the afternoon moving into the evening of, the 27th of Hunter. You guys are in the mountainous, or you guys are on the volcano, of Mount Motomalima, and, Red Axe, looking at the, or rather, at the, summit. Let's set the scene. I spent several minutes earlier today looking at, like, I guess the caldera of volcanoes, so I could accurately be able to describe this to you guys, and I'm trying to decide where I'm going to place you. So, Mount Motomalima is a active volcano, but it's not active in the sense of it's about to erupt any second. Like, there is magma down there that you can see, but there is smoke pulling up through the top of this volcano, clouding and obscuring everything at the top of the volcano, if you were looking down in this. The ridge of this area is formed of just, like, jutted rock formations that have been either formed of, like, caught magma over the years that have, like, spikes of obsidian in it, or areas where, the patchy earth has just, like, caught enough sediment to just have these spines that just kind of reach towards the center of the volcano. The ridge itself is about 35 feet in width, and stretches down to a point of like 10 feet of like one of the spines that reach towards the center. All around the volcano, these go out for hundreds, maybe even probably about hundreds of yards, not thousands, not at all. Going around the ridge of this volcano, trying to stand anywhere over this magma, you are going to just be inhaling nothing but smoke. If anybody wants to walk out on the spine. Otherwise, you can see down the slope of Mount Motomolima. It is a heck of a hike up these paths. Down the mountainside in the distance, you can see different keeps, different settlements built into plateaus, or areas where where the shielding of these like obsidian spikes would divert like magma flow or anything. And all of the different settlements that have been built into this mountainside. The north side of the mountainside, however, slopes down at a very, very slight decline, stretching from up here. You guys can see all the way into the fields of Morzia in the far, far distance. You are above the clouds, though, so your vision of the fields are obscured. But along the northern side of the mountainside, there are those villages here, but they look significantly less permanent than the villages on the eastern side, because they get destroyed every time the volcano erupts. Anyways, yes, what would you guys like to do?
Well, Ogun starts by leading them toward the ritual site that his tribe always did burials at. And along the way is going to pick a few herbs and things like that.
Okay.
Also kick over get some volcanic ash from some of the rocks, or just scoop some up in a little tiny bowl.
Okay. Are there any herbs you are looking for specifically?
Mostly just the local pipeweed kind of stuff.
Okay, roll me a survival check to forage as you travel. All right. It seems we're starting tonight off with luck favoring you.
Luck? That was a 5 on the die. He's good at survival.
Oh, yeah, you beat the DC, but no, I was talking about the percentage die. Rolled a 90%.
Oh, sweet.
So you're going to find enough. What will we call ashman? We'll call it ashman. That would be like what the sage on this mountain would be called.
Okay.
And you'll find enough smokable ashman for everybody in the party to, basically have like essentially 2 goes at this.
Okay.
And we'll put that to a half pound of or no, we'll do it till you find 1 pound of this plant wet. So that would make sense. Yeah, about a pound of organic material.
Okay.
And if you crush it down and distribute it out, everybody would have like essentially 2 sessions of smoking. In addition to that, you are also going to find 4 mushrooms called Asunji fire caps.
Ooh. Did I see that?
Well, I mean, Ogun, it depends on how Ogun's storing the material. And you guys are just going to see Ogun, like, occasionally, like, walking off the trail, digging through ash and then grabbing stuff.
Yeah. And as far as that goes, I mean, he, like, steps off the trail, picks up whatever the thing is, and just drops it in his component pouch.
Oh.
So, what's an Asunji fire cap, anyways?
It's a nice ingredient for some potion making and such.
Okay.
Are you asking that as Ogun to the party, or? Were you asking me?
No, I'm asking that as Jeff because Ogun knows it. I'm sure.
Yeah.
If you want me to roll for it, I will.
Ogun would know it. It's a dangerous mushroom. It's not really edible. It's a poison that it's poisonous to the point of if somebody ingests it, it's gonna set their insides just ablaze, almost like how ecstasy just melts your internal organs. However, a skilled alchemist can distill different properties from the mushroom.
Okay. He won't bring that up until the end of the hike.
Yeah.
Like until they're up at the spot. And he'll like sit down and start grinding up the pipeweed and some stuff like that, preparing. And if there's anything to go on before then, let me know. But otherwise, I'll dive into that.
Yeah. If in Ogun's tribe, it would have been like a practical joke to slip this into somebody's food when they weren't looking. It's like a ghost pepper.
Okay. Well, these are also not orcs and half-orcs. So he's guesstimating that they probably would be a lot more unhappy about that than his former tribe. So like they might be puking their guts out and shitting blood for the next week until they died. I don't know.
Yeah.
But once he gets to the top, he'll get his pipeweed together, start grinding it up, and start grinding up the volcanic ash. He'll get out his like small ritual knife.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Come here.
Go ahead.
Come here. How'd you guys get out? I'm sorry. Door closed. I'm sorry about that. I'm still here and I am listening. My dogs are in my room with me. There's a babysitter here watching the kids, and they just opened the door and saw the dog. I'm like, wow. But anyways,
yeah,
door's locked.
puppy wrangling's a job. I'm familiar. Okay, so moving on. Anyway, he sits down, starts grinding stuff up, and tells everybody else, take Allward and Kara, lay them here together. Make sure they're wrapped securely. Use rope and bedroll or whatever out of Allward's explorer pack or out of Allward's pack to get them settled. And I'll finish the preparations in a moment. Sindri holds up the 2 fire caps. You know what this is?
Oh, yes. That's pure fire.
Well, I'd use it to spice my food, but if you want to use it for something more handy, you go right ahead. And he hands it over.
Yeah, I can make some good things out of this.
Good.
Thanks. So that was 2 mushrooms?
Yeah.
I guess the rest of us are getting Allward and Kara situated.
Yeah. Once Ogun is done grinding up the stuff and he has his little bowls set out, he'll go and kind of tidy up the bodies, with wrappings and things like that. He will take a little bit of his rations and tuck those into the blanket or into the wrappings, along with, I believe we retrieved some sword type stuff from Allward, and if there's just a basic sword, he'll tuck that in there. No, there's a silver and a +1. There is a basic short sword. Okay, yeah. So he'll tuck that in there. And that's it. Maybe his flute, if that was like a particularly personal item.
Yeah, I don't think that Sindri needs the flute, honestly.
Well, it's not a matter of need, it's a matter of part of the funeral ritual is to, and he's explaining this, he says, okay, so part of the funeral ritual is to send them on to the afterlife. You give them just a little bit of food. It's a token. It doesn't even have to be good, because if you're starving, you don't give good food to the dead. And you give them something at least symbolizing a weapon. So this is just a basic short sword, so I'm going to tuck it in unless somebody has a strong objection. And if you say that you're going to sell it, I'm going to shank you with it. Yes? No?
I think we had planned on burying him with his sword anyway.
Yeah, that's sword
Okay.
for him.
Okay. Brandon, did I don't remember anybody mentioning Alward ever playing the flute, really, but was that something that was done in downtime that I wasn't familiar with, or I'm not remembering?
Alward has not had a chance to play the flute since he was introduced to the party. They interrupted his campsite where he was playing it.
Okay.
That was about it,
Um,
though.
Okay. Yeah. He'll tuck it in there anyways.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so one thing I want to, or a few things I want to explain to you first. As we are his only friends and his strongest friends, it is to us to send his spirit on to the afterlife in proper fashion and give it as much speed as possible. Part of this, and he'll kind of point over the edge, is the bundles will be at one point, and I'll tell you when, tossed over this edge, and we'll all do this together. The idea is to hit the magma. This is an auspicious ritual and will help him in his reincarnation. I'm going to use a few words of the old tongue. For those of you that are unfamiliar, I'm only using it for the ones that there is really no good equivalent in common. And I will explain those. Susdarver means the infinity from this world to forever. It's all that we can see and beyond. Ori Yangar means the next life, to which they are called for their further growth and exploration. Shia Yandeth is a destined glorious victory, and Doth Yen is better matters of the heart. Do you have any questions before I get started?
So we wait for your signal, pick them up, and help toss them. into
Right.
the map.
There's another part where I'll tell you to like step forward, and you should do that then.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
I just wanted to make a quick note about Tobias is sort of standing back during this whole thing, but he's removed his steel mask and uncloaked his head as kind of a gesture of deference, if it makes any difference.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody's going to see Tobias's unmasked face. And unlike normal Terai, who they have the ability to like keep up with their body, and you know they can blend into society, you are going to see his face is shriveled, right? And or do you want to describe it?
Well, his face it would be as closely described as I can as a someone who's suffered a kind of a bad burn to one side of his face. He's got one eye that's kind of dull, but it still moves around like he can perceive. I guess at one point he was not a bad-looking person, but he's very gaunt. And whatever damage was done has kind of covered most, like a 3/4 of his head. He still has hair with color in it, and it's about shoulder length, streaks of gray in it, and a dark color. But kind of a somber person altogether. But he's mostly just observing quietly and tucking his mask in under his cloak and trying to keep the embers out of his hair. Because it's kind of dry, it can set on fire easily. But otherwise, he'll just, unless he's spoken to, he'll be observing quietly in the background.
Okay.
Okay, so speaking of things that not everybody sees, Ogun takes his shirt off, and the most of the party have seen, but like Tobias and Sindri may not have. He has a variety of scars on him. that are ritual scarification. There's the obvious ones are the ones that y'all have seen are the double arrows that point up on the right side of his head, behind his eye, and then a shield on the left side of his head, right above his ear. And then, in addition to that, trailing up his right arm, or the inside of his right arm, has a brand of a wolf's head with the jaws open facing the wrist. Trailing his left arm is a series of tiny little lines that spiral up from his wrist. And the last one is a star. And okay, so that's it for that. So he kind of takes a important-looking stance and begins. Alward Lawanda has fallen. We still stand. Kara, friend and mount of Alward Lawanda, has fallen. We still stand. They have bled for Sustarver. Who will bleed for them? Step forward and declare yourself. He takes a step forward. I am Ogun Three-Strike, maddest wolf, Dawn Eye, son of Viol of Thrice Dead, first wind of Anga Yendar, and I have bled for them. He takes a knife and makes a small cut on his forehead, like right in his eyebrow, and uses a tiny bowl to gather a few drops of blood from it. They have bled for Sustarver, sorry. Who will bleed for them? Step forward and declare yourself. And he looks to see who's next.
Soulmate will step forward, not at all sure what to do or say.
Declare yourself. What is your name?
I am Soulmate Darkstride. And I've bled for them.
Well said. And he grasps the back of his head, puts it up to the little bowl, and makes a tiny little cut in his eyebrow.
Mine
Gathers
or
a little
yours?
bit.
Mine or yours?
Yours.
Okay.
They have bled for Sustarver. Who will bleed for them? Step forward and declare yourself. He looks at the rest of the party.
Sindri steps forward. I, Sindri Wild Wanderer, have come here for them, and I will bleed for them.
Well said. He repeats the process. Gathers a little bit of blood.
Step back.
They have bled for Sustarver. Who will bleed for them? Step forward and declare yourself.
I, Fractus, will bleed for them.
Ogun repeats the process. Steps back. They have bled for Sustarver. Who will bleed for them? Step forward and declare yourself.
Are all eyes
Kinda
on
stares-
Teak and
Yeah.
Tobias?
Just Teak right now, at least as far as Ogun goes.
Can't Tobias bleed for them?
He can try.
I mean, does Tobias have any blood to bleed for them?
It's symbolic.
JD, are you there? Yeah, if he's talking, I can't hear him.
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
We lost a paladin.
Okay. Tobias? If Tobias steps forward, Ogun will repeat the process. Brandon, did he get any blood or not?
Hey, just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Why am I half thinking that Tobias is going to pull out a vial of blood and say, "It's not mine. It's not mine, but this should hopefully work."
Well, does he have any blood, Brandon? I asked that for you.
You know what? We'll roll. Oh no, Tobias has Ichor.
That's fine. We just want some Tobias squeezins.
He'll look up and me.
Yes.
Uh,
You were there.
he,
Will you continue to bleed for their cause, or will you just move on about your life without their memory?
yeah, he'll step forward and as Tobias Adonius Stormwind, Distilled Heart, bearer of the all-seeing tone. I will bleed for them.
Well said. Ogun repeats the process, gets the ichor or whatever comes out. Brandon, can you do teak real quick?
I'm actually going to roll Teak a. JD told me her mindset earlier, so I'm going to roll Teak a charisma check at how
Okay.
well she's keeping it together. Teak is keeping it together really, really well. Teak is just going to walk up. She won't say anything, and she'll just take the knife from your hand and cut it above her eyebrow. Let it drip into the bowl.
Okay. Ogun gathers it. Steps back. Alwyn and Kara have given all their blood for us and Sustarver. We tread on their footsteps, but now continue without their strength. They rejoin the snow that creates rivers. And he takes up another bowl, another small bowl, and that has just melted snow in it, and sprinkles that over the bodies. They rejoin the fire that creates mountains. And he sprinkles the volcanic ash over the bodies. Our tears of blood mingle with the snow that creates rivers. Drip some of it on the snow. Our tears of blood mingle with the fire that creates mountains. Drip the rest of it on the bodies. Alward and Kara, we will continue your work and carry your memory. Nothing holds you in this realm, and you are free to travel to Ori Yengar. By your mighty souls, it will be full of Shia Yen death and Doth Yen. And he waves to everybody to come up and grab sides of the wrappings and proceed to pitch Alward into the volcano, followed by Kara.
Yeah, Teak will step forward and do so. I'm not going to make you guys roll to do so. As you guys are stepping out on this spite, everybody is going to notice there is a strong tailwind at your backs that almost assists in the process, throwing Teak, or not Teak, throwing Alward and Kara in.
So this is how Brandon gets rid of the tanks of the party.
Hey, we've already established pushing your guys' faces into magma is effective.
True fact.
Duly noted.
Once that's done, he gets everybody back from the edge. Laud the lives of Alward and Kara with your tales, and share a smoke of ashment from this pipe, to banish their souls from this life, speeding them toward Ori Yengar. And he sits down, starts lighting the pipe.
Sindri
The formal part of the ritual is done, the rest is storytelling.
When Ogun finishes, Fractus starts singing a chant, a sea song, if you will. And he says, "Deep the night of dark has settled, for the night is hastening on. Some have struggled to meet the awning. In the darkness, may be lost. Let the lower light be burning. Let the gleam be on the sky. Some poor fainting, struggling seaman, you may rescue, you may save."
Well
All right.
sung.
Well sung indeed.
Sindri will partake of the pipe. Offered.
Yeah. Ogun takes a drag and passes around.
Silmain will take a drag.
I was meant to Brandon. You was mentioned that old tongue. Is that something that Tobias would have heard on heard about during his travels?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was the language of the first first seed walkers. It spread to. It was the language that humanity spawned knowing.
So would he know the language or just parts of it?
It is a language you guys can pick up with your language options. Let's see. Yeah, you don't have it in your language options for them, but yeah, you would just know parts of it. I will allow you to decipher any part of it, though, you want, with a DC 12 history check. Your profession was a historian before, shenanigans.
Had I ever witnessed something like this happening before, or is this the first?
Yeah, this is going to be a first for you as far as like this ritual goes. The death ritual of the Darkened Veil is different. They preserve the body and put it in a crypt specifically so it can be animated again if ever need be.
It's
Sorry, I am present now.
You missed it. We almost threw Teak into the volcano.
Oh, did we?
There was a twisted tongue from Brandon.
Whoops.
Yeah. They did a ritual for Alward's body. Teak, who I assume was fuming at the fact that she had to bury a friend, said nothing for the ritual and just participated silently.
That would be on brand, actually. But sorry. Sister was talking to me.
I know it's been quite some time since I've seen a proper funeral. We don't exactly observe these types of rituals where I home in the Darkened Veil. It's
Well,
beautiful in a way.
thank you. Around here, we believe if you don't do it right, they'll come back and haunt you. So that's part of what this pipe is for. The smoke banishes spirits, including them. So it's a go away. Please don't haunt me. By the way, you're dead in case you haven't realized it yet.
Yes, I remember the process quite vividly, actually.
At that, Practice smiles and says, Alward would probably haunt us just because.
He wouldn't do anything to us. He would just sit there and berate
Snark.
and badmouth. Yeah, basically.
It's difficult for me to accept that this. Well, I won't speak of it here, but this need not have happened.
Well, most deaths are not needful. Sometimes they're effective. But I've seen enough death from starvation and other things. By the way, when Ogun leaned in to give people your little ritual cuts, you could see that there's a lot of scar tissue under his eyebrows.
If you don't mind, I would like to chronicle this later in my personal notes.
Of course.
I've studied of this ritual, never seen it performed. This is I won't say I thank you for the privilege, but I appreciate you allowing me to participate.
No, you were there. It's practically required. And I guess that's another thing I should be writing down at some point. So, seriously, the stories are important too. I know this Alward was part of the group, so to speak, before I arrived.
Shit.
Who was there when whoever was there met him?
For my part, my meeting of him was at the bottom of the sea. As I too dived into the deep and received the feeling of the crushing depths. I swam about and allowed my body to be crushed in this environment for a brief time, and then it met this being and his bear after he'd already gone. So I have to live through your stories. Please, go ahead.
Of the people with us right now, I've known him the longest. Because I was part of the group that he joined up with when we were still under Elena.
Well, tell us of your meeting. Or a tale where Alward was especially Alward.
A tale where Alward was especially Alward? That's...
You can embellish a bit, too, if you like.
Well, our meeting was one of Alward's most Alward moments. It was when me and the others were setting up an ambush to kill a vampire lord that had wronged one of the others. Apparently Alward had been camping on the island we set up the ambush on, and was just passing through when the vampire lord used some crazy magics to make us live out fantasies. Alward was literally the wrong place at the wrong time. Can everyone still hear me?
Yeah,
I
thanks
can.
for your time.
Yep, hear you
Okay.
fine.
Sorry, it just went super quiet, so I'm sure that my Discord didn't cut out.
We weren't done if you were. We weren't sure if you were done or not. So
And after we had defeated the Vampire Lord, he literally looked at Malik, the former leader of our group, and called him a monster of his tribe, and it was just Howard. He sat there and insulting everyone for the next 20 minutes, complaining that he got roped into this by literally just wanting to sleep.
oops.
Well said. That sounds like Alward to a T. I remember when I met Alward, he was in prison, and so was his bear. Of course, by the time I saw the bear, well, before that I wasn't so sure about these miscreants. But when I saw the bear, well, I knew he was good people. And would be worth sticking by. I was proved correct. He held to his purpose thoroughly. Go ahead.
He loved that damn bear.
That bear loved him.
I always knew when, at first, I never trusted Howard, but I always knew that wherever his bear went, he would be. I grew to respect. He had a heart on him. He cared about the blue band when nobody else would care about him. He cared about the animals. He cared not about the city. I'm gonna miss his snark and his wit.
Say to the smoke why he has lived well, not why you want him back.
died a hero. He died saving, looking at Tobias, an important party member who I think will help us in saving the world.
I've perished once and I've traveled this world for hundreds of years after. But I've never had anyone try to do what he did. I'm only sorry that a bright young life had to be snuffed out for a dimly burning candle like me. But I thank him for it nonetheless. Which is why his name is going in the book. Tobias will try to partake of the pipe, whether it does anything or not.
Teak, you've been awfully quiet.
Teak nods. She wouldn't be wearing her helmet, actually. She nods. I'm a little, I think, overcome at the moment. But I will say a few words. Does the pipe make it her way?
Yep.
She takes it and says, He fought for something that he only begrudgingly believed in, but believed it to be the best course of action of a group of substandard actions to take. Maybe he did start to believe in the end, in it towards the end, but you wouldn't know it for all of the snark that he gave. I hope whatever is next for him is as just as he deserves, because he does deserve many good things for being able to bring such brevity, even though at times it was a little bit glib, to difficult situations. He was a companion, and he made the best of his situation, I think. With that, she'll take a puff.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
Is there any fire nearby?
The volcano hasn't erupted in dozens of years. It's hot up here, significantly hotter than it should be. It wouldn't be hard to start a fire, but as far as anything immediately on fire next to you, I would say no.
For the purposes of controlled flame, could we say the embers inside the pipe could work?
Yeah.
Or if you ask out loud, Sindri could bring out a device, probably.
You've actually seen, you saw Ogun light the pipe using the produce flame cantrip, so if you want fire, just ask.
Well, he's going to, excuse me, he'll take the pipe and kind of dip his finger in, pull out one of the motes on his finger, and just kind of blow on it gently. And I would like to expand that into a proper flame that if you'll make it take on the rough shape of a bear and have it just kind of play through the smoke. Just have that happening while everybody's
Okay.
talking.
And everybody, I assume, looks up to see this bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has anyone not given a story? I think everybody's given a story. When you guys look up to see this bear, rocks fall on everyone, and everyone's dead. No, I'm kidding. Specifically, I need to look at one last thing, and I'm going to tell you guys something. So, Fractus might be the only person. As everybody looks up at this bear, and your attention's on it, something's going to catch Fractus's eye. A nearby rock formation, maybe just like a single pebble or a couple rocks, fall down against the wind, not like being blown in the direction that the wind's blowing, but just like in a direction they shouldn't. It catches Fractus's attention, and you're gonna see just between like these rock formations, there is just the smallest lump of a head watching you. As soon as you look over, it ducks down.
Quietly practices. We got company. And practices is going to act like he is going to smoke his pipe, but in reality he's gathering his weapons and getting into a position where he can spring to action if he.
I've got a passive investigation of 25. Can I see what he's talking about?
Fractus beat this person's stealth check. It was an investigation.
Okay.
The DC was
Fractus is
19
also
if anybody has above that.
If they have what?
They rolled a 19 on their stealth check. Fractus beat it.
Well, passive perception is 22.
Oh, well then Tobias did too. Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't see that on your sheet. That was my bad.
I can go over there and see who or what they are.
Owen gets up. With that, our ritual is complete. Just to kind of keep things distracted.
Yeah. Only does that, Soulman's gonna try to slip back and duck into stealth to try to get over to where they were pointing out.
Practice is going to try and help you by kind of trying to take his cloak out and ruffle it a little bit. Since it's a displacement cloak, it's kind of gives some after images of himself. So he's just going to try and block Soulmane's the view to Soulmane.
All right, so this is going to be a little bit weird, but I am not going to be a douche to you guys. I'm going to let you guys just passively do this. If Practice is following Soulmane, Soulmane cannot see this person, so he's going to be like walking through these. Okay, I'm going to say, yeah, he's going to like Practice can just say that way, over there. Make a left, turn right.
Nope.
Practice didn't say that. Practice just got in front of him so he could disappear.
Okay.
But Practice also indicated where he saw the head in a low voice.
Sindri will ask for those that remain near him in a very quiet voice. Anyone want to fly?
I'll fly if I need to. Don't worry about me.
Roll stealth, Brandon.
Yes. Yes, you can.
Since
Wait,
I
what's
was
the-
trying to help him, does he get advantage?
I don't know why that's rolling to you. Sorry. That's weird. I've never set my sheet to do that.
Well, Cinder will bring his bow to hand.
I'll allow Practice to give the help action.
The first one I rolled was better.
Mm-hmm. No, the 31's fine. I saw that. Oh, yeah, you rolled with advantage. All right. So the scene. Practice. Ogun starts breaking camp. Practice and Soulmane start creeping towards this rock formation. Practice is displacing himself with the cloak. However, the two practices are still visible. And then Sindri's casting Fly and getting a bird's eye view. Am I correct in all of that?
No, Sindri was offering to help someone fly if they wanted it, but also just bringing his bow to hand, knocking an arrow. Sort of using his body to block what he's doing with the arrow, but getting ready.
Practice is going to call out to the person that hid and said, "We see you. Come out."
Yeah, as you
Don't need to be afraid.
as you guys round this rock formation, you are going to see person. Let's see. Where did I put them? In group A. Here we go. You are going to see a elven woman stand. She has a large piece of chalk in her hand. She turns and looks at you. And she is going to bow. And does she know your name? And she's going to say, Master Hornfell, I only wish to lend you aid. And she's going to reach into her sleeves and pull out a piece of rolled up parchment. And she's going to say, on this...
Practice is going to lie, and he's going to say, "I'm afraid you got the wrong person. My name is Rupert Hornswallow."
And she's going to say, "Do you not travel with Lord Soulmane?"
Do I recognize her when I hear of that?
No, you don't recognize her.
Practice is going to flat out lie, and he's going to say, "No, I don't know who that is, but who are you?"
She's going to say, "Please, this is not the time for games. We scryed on you, albeit almost only momentarily, but I come offering this. You're searching for a temple inside the Tide Gate. It is one by the name of Anelia. Perhaps these two contacts can help you find it." She's going to bow and start casting a spell after placing the parchment in front of her.
Practice is going to say, "No, that's not good enough."
You got 6 seconds or an Arcana check. The chalk line on the ground is going to start to light up.
What's the spell? Oh, never mind. I have no idea what that spell is.
Right. Give me a second here.
Practice is going to try and kick
Can I see it?
dirt.
23 Arcana check, Brandon.
A 23 Arcana check. You recognize Teleportation Circle.
She's teleported. She's got some teleportation circle.
Practice is
I don't
gonna
like this.
try and
Tackler?
kick dirt at the teleportation circle and slash in her face to try and mess her up, hoping that Soulmane will come behind her.
All right.
Soulmane.
Give me a attack roll and damage. Oh God, you're a monk. Your unarmed damage is so much. Specifically at this teleportation circle. Alright, roll me damage at the teleportation circle. You need to obscure it enough that the sigil won't function. She begins casting her spell, and you are going to just dash behind her and just drag your foot across the circle. She is going to look down at it and then look up at you and tilt her head and say, "That was unnecessary."
I believe we asked who you were. Soulmane says, popping behind her with his blade out to her back.
Sindri will be having his bow fully drawn, ready to shoot now.
Practice is like, you'll have to forgive our unhospitality, but we've dealt with way worse people, and we don't take kindly to this type of
She is going to bow and say, or no, she's not. She's not going to bow. She's already bowed. She's going to nod and say, "I can assure you our interests align. I work for one who doesn't want to see the Milanthogar succeed either."
And Practice is say, "Well, I'm glad, but that's why we're going to talk this out, and then we can decide if we're friends or not."
Did Elizabeth send you?
She's going to shake her head and say, "By Providence, no." Oh, yeah.
Then who sent you? Who are you working for?
She is going to turn around to face you and raise her neck and say, "You can slit my throat. It won't make a difference in the greater scheme of Ilderon's history." She gestures to the scroll.
Practice. What's the scroll say?
I'm gonna have Ogun read it, and I pick it up and say, "Ogun, you want to come and look at this?"
Reading it,
Sure, Owen will take a look.
It is the name of an island within the Tide Gate, and it is also it has two different names on it, and their professions.
Also, while Ogun is doing that, Practice is going to sign to Teak and ask him to do his sight on her.
Okay, I blow a charge of Divine Sense.
On her, she is doesn't ping as a celestial, fiend, or undead. From all you can tell, from what you can tell, she is just some mortal.
What about Fae? That's also on there.
She is not Fae.
Sindri would have smelled her.
Sorry, Teak. I had to make sure.
She is going to bow again and say, "I do not wish to disrespect the leader of my circle by being late. If you permit me to leave."
Not yet. We need to find out if we're friends.
Who is the leader?
Somebody who's interested in leaving so fast usually has a trick they don't want us to find.
Who is the leader of your circle? If you want us to be friends, we should at least know who we're working with.
Maybe we should search her. She might have something else on her.
Practice is like that. I don't think that's necessary. She just needs to be a little bit more forthcoming on who she is and who she works
Seems
for.
pretty stubborn to me.
She is going to say an elven woman in or an elven merchant in a port on the coast of Rion.
And Practice says, and I'm an elven nobleman woman. Give us names.
And she is going to she goes silent for a minute, and then she's going to speak up and say, "I'm sure you're a master of discernment. There's no lie I could pass to you, but there's no name I can communicate to you in earnest."
I think we're just wasting time with Messenger.
She's going to say, "You seek the temple the Milantogar operates out of. It's cloaked in magic. It's
What
likely
kind of magic?
no longer mapped in the Tide Gate."
So you're telling us if we go to that island and talk to those people, they're going to be able to find this hidden temple?
She is going to shake her head and say, "No, but they can give you information that points you towards it."
They do have information that they're a target.
Do you know the nature of what's hiding the temple? Like what type of magic or the strength of it or anything?
Sounds like we need to talk with your master. Would you permit us to go and visit?
She shakes her head and says, "My master only speaks with willing sisters. It would be sacrilege." And, well, no. Yeah.
Hey, Brandon, is there anything historical that would, or in terms of Arcana knowledge, that would tell me anything about a circle that behaves that way?
I'll allow a history check.
I can
Okay.
I'll assist on it.
I'm going to put it on the nearly impossible scale.
25 is pretty close to impossible.
The nearly impossible scale is 30.
So close.
Does it get advantage because of assistance?
Yes. Ogun can roll with advantage. The only way you guys would get it, though, was if somebody had access to guidance or bless. But yeah, Ogun's not going to be able to call it to memory.
Okay.
I could make it on a 20.
If I can roll again, I can throw guidance to lead that one. So
No, you didn't have it for
D4.
your check. You can give it to You can give it to Tobias. Tobias is 250 years old. He's probably met people.
Okay. Owen will say, Tobias, have you ever heard of a circle that behaves that way with this secrecy behavior just like that? And there's his guidance. I bet you can come up with that. Student of history and all that.
I actually need to bring up roll 20. Roll that.
Well, you get an extra D4 on your check, so.
That might help because I could get it on a 20 potentially, but that's 20. All right, let's see. Go ahead and roll the D4 and see what that gives me. So I know what to add.
I think Northold had a group like that, but that's not quite right. They got rid of their names in order to be part of the circle.
So with natural 20s, you don't like roll a second dice?
Nah, no exploding in.
Am I rolling it with advantage, Brandon?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll allow somebody to give you the help action. I will say with Sindri's nat 20, he gives you the help action for free on it of just like, oh, he goes through this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Right. You have guidance from Ogun and help from.
That's a 29. Damn it.
Oh, so close. You start.
Wait, is the help action not doing anything?
That's a 30! That's a 30!
That's...
With a 2, it's a 30!
Well, what does the help add to it? What does the spell add to it?
The help lets him roll a... help lets him roll with the advantage. On that 30, as you guys are sitting here going like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, just like, wait, what circle operates with this much secrecy? And Tobias is going to know there is a particularly nasty type of individual you guys keep out of the courts of the Empress's court and the Darkened Vale, particularly followers of a Darenthal path that was exiled from their religion called Gendenthal. They are very, very secretive. They're very hard to find, and normally when they show up, it preludes disaster.
Aren't they the ones that? Isn't that the type of people that the ruler of this area looked to when she started summoning demons?
It is indeed.
You said Gilrindale?
Gendenthal. I will spell it in roll 20 for you.
He's gonna kind of stand up from where he's sitting and grasp his quarter staff like you said. Gendenthal, Brandon.
So, do any of you know if the ruler of this area used to be a merchant?
You're one of Gendenthal's lackeys, aren't you?
She is going to shake her head and say, my circle is so much more than those crazed simple demon worshippers. But she is going to nod and say, the consummate has picked up the faith, though. She is a willing sister.
What is she wearing, Brandon? And I don't mean that in a naughty term. I mean is there anything that I can possibly steal?
She's
pocket off?
Yeah, she's got a spell component pouch. And then she's just got the fine clothes that she has on.
Out of character, get that pouch. I want it.
Again, she's just going, like, as you guys are eyeballing her, she's just going to say, you can slit me and cut me down on this mountainside. I was sent to deliver. She gestures to the no. And in the Chronicles of Ilderon's history, my life is but a single contribution to a greater task. And she is.
A mountain is made of tiny pebbles, and if we know where you're contributing, it is important.
she's going to nod and say, for now, our goals align. The Million-Fulgar cannot succeed.
Well, that part I can agree with. The rest of your, but this is a benefactor and we don't need to know their identity is garbage. Because a unnamed benefactor has a way of asking for favors and things down the road that may not align. Especially if they will not reveal their hand from the beginning.
Sounds like a con man.
I'm going to share what I know about what I know about that organization from before, if they don't already know.
Okay.
Exposition.
So
Expedited exposition.
you're cultists.
Such a crude term. And I think she'll say that. And she's going to say, such a crude term. Not some cult or fanatics.
You summoned any demons?
And she's going to roll her eyes and say, in Ilderon, demons are not summoned. They are sent.
So what is this?
She doesn't have the taint. She doesn't have the taint on her. At least that's what Teak thinks.
Oh.
What does the letter actually say?
It is literally just that information. It's the name of two people, Alan Knopf and Kuiper Knopf, that they work for Nazaram. And it gives their professions and the island they live on.
So how do you know about us? You know us by name. That's not something...
She said she scried on us. Or that we were scried upon.
And we were just declaring our names.
She is going to nod and say, and last evening, you fought Lucerne.
Indeed. What do you know of Lucerne?
And she's going to say he was a servant. He was a servant of the gatekeeper, corrupted by demons, sent to this world to reap souls and send them back to the undervents.
They already know this much about us, so there's really nothing that she could tell them that they don't already know. And we're not exactly lousy with extra time.
What is your name?
And she's going to exhale and say, if you must call me something, you can call me alive, currently.
I need a unique identifier.
She's going to say breath.
Theatrical, this lot.
I don't think we're going to get much more out of her.
Okay. Well, Ogun turns into a wolf, walks up, just kind of not nonchalantly, but not attacking, and sniffs her, so he has her scent. And then turns back into humanoid form, basically right in her face. I have your scent. If I need to find you, I will.
Are you saying that you're bound to death except by the will of another?
And she's gonna look at Sindri and say, aren't we all? It's the gatekeeper's will that keeps this plane bound. She's going to look at Ogun, Fractus, and say, you seek an audience, but our circle only meets with willing sisters. If you know of one, we will always welcome a daughter. She is going to look Soulmane in the eyes and step back towards her teleportation circle. You can take an attack of opportunity if you want, but she starts fixing the sigil, and she's going to say, remember this sigil. If you find a daughter that seeks guidance, send her. It's going to take her a minute to restart teleportation circle. She starts drawing with chalk out of her spell component pouch.
Ogun will note the sigil, like write it down.
Send a real glance and make sure you did it right.
No, you did crop. No, that's
Fractus is going to write a note really quickly in paper, and he's going to flick it at her just before she finishes her teleport.
Okay, what's the note say?
I'll tell you later.
lol.
Okay. Let's see. Does she catch it? She is going to look up and grab it before it hits her.
I prepared explosive. Hee hee.
All right. And she is going to stand and say, well, I bid you farewell. I'm late. May your hunt for Elena and the rest of the remaining members of their circle go well. And send them to the afterlife. She's going to nod and start casting a spell again.
A different spell than teleportation circle?
No, the rune on the ground is lighting up.
I'm still stoked that I got that 30 though.
You get by with a little help from your friends, huh?
Alright,
Yeah.
if nobody stops her, she teleports away. The
Okay,
sigil flashing a bright white light on the ground, burning its mark, the portal opening,
so
and her
cool.
falling through. It
Okay,
closes
so cool.
after 6 seconds. You do?
No.
Okay.
I've casted like 3 spells until you caught that one.
The
Just fireball, dude.
the destination on the other side of the portal, for those who look through it, it looks like a incredibly dark woods. There's barely any sunlight, and you can see just faint white flames through it. It closes after 6 seconds. You guys just see her light a torch and start walking.
Okay, am I the only one who doesn't enjoy the fact she knew so much about us?
Nope.
She didn't. She even knew our real names. I tried to lie, and
Well, a little scrying at an opportune moment would have taken care of that. It's not that hard to find out under the circumstances.
Well, here's a question.
But she also knew about Elena and other things that she's doing, so...
Yeah, there's a lot too much in that department as well.
Brandon, I sent you a private message of what I said in that note.
Okay, I can't look at it on stream, but I'll look on it on my phone.
Here's a question. She would still need to know about us to scry.
Oh, Oh, on the other side it says spin this.
Not to mention she knew about us fighting that thing in the ocean.
Or maybe not her, but the people she works for.
Yeah, that could have gotten out in a few different ways, I think. But
That was only a day or so ago.
yeah.
Like,
Messages
someone in-
travel quickly when you start throwing some magic around, and
Someone in the
circles like that tend
university.
to do that. True. It's possible. It's also possible with a bunch of scrying. That's how we found the place to go. Someone could have been watching us or Elena. If they are really trying to thwart them, that would be someone to watch.
Or contacts at the college.
Also possible.
Well, shall
So-
we away from this fiery place?
We are gonna ignore this letter, correct?
Not entirely.
I don't think we can afford to.
A little due caution and investigation before just accepting it at face value? Yes. Ignore entirely? I don't think so.
We
Sindri will look around again to see if there's any more mushrooms.
we,
the immediate
we
area.
can't afford to turn friends away at a time like this. Although
That's
I
true.
do agree with y'all. It sounds like a perfect.
Cut out. A perfect what?
Perfect.
Con.
Andy's dead.
Con.
Brandon, can you hear me?
Yes,
I can't believe I'm the one
So, searching for
needs
mushrooms. What do I roll?
to somehow use the voice of reason.
Give me
saying
1
we
second,
sh-
Steve.
Sure.
Go ahead, Anthony.
Shouldn't. I can't believe I'm the one that needs to use the voice of reason. Say we probably shouldn't trust anyone working with demon cultists. Friends are holding up air quotes. Friends are not. That's just literally asking for trouble.
Practice is going to look at you and say, the enemy of our enemy is our friends. And
The enemy of
whatever
our
it
enemy can be
takes.
trusted in front of us, but not behind us.
We don't even know who the enemy of our enemy.
I agree with you that these guys are shady. But we can ill afford not to at least look at it.
They
Practice. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
have all the information they need about us, yet we have no information about them. This is an inequality that we address. I don't think we can afford to ignore it for long. Especially if it involves one of the West Earth.
Well, we got a lot more than we would have if we hadn't have stopped her teleporting. So we got that at least. Besides, whatever it takes, we have to stop Elena, whatever it takes. I have and will make deals with the devil if it means that we can take her down. At that, Fractus doesn't try to make eye contact with Teak.
On taking the windows.
And meaningfully looks at Ogun and Soulmane, kind of trying to remind them what we did for the Eye of the Mountain.
I Well, Lena's still free. I'm still technically in your servitude, so.
You're what? You're a servant of Elena?
No, these chuckle fucks.
Oh, you're here.
Don't worry about that too much. I
Yeah.
turned the blue band loose. You're kind of in that same bucket, so I'm not in the space of hunting you down, but I think you're sufficiently invested at this point.
If I would have ran, if I wanted to ran months ago.
I know. And you know how that would have gone then. Now I'm not so worried about it.
So how do we want to travel? As he looks for mushrooms.
Well, I think walking's out of the question. At least the entire way. The other question is, back to the university, or do we have someplace else we want to be?
I could always use a little time to prepare more things, but I don't know about the rest of you.
We wanted to head to Gwir, didn't we? If you're saying we want to trust these people, we want to check out this island and these contacts.
A little more figuring out what we're likely to be walking into or how much trust we can afford to give them. First might be smart.
Ogun, I know I'm biased in this, but would we actually gain anything by going back to the university and asking about these guys? Do you think that we'd have
Probably.
information?
And you would gain possible potions and other things that I need to be effective.
And attention.
Most effective, I should say.
Well, I think we can manage to answer or ask questions quietly, and there are areas that are warded against scrying and things, so we can at least do some of that stuff quietly. Or quieter, anyways.
Well, I can't just go in blind. As much as true. As loath as I am to return to the university, I can't deny that that's our best bet.
I have a question, Tobias. How long has it been since you've eaten?
You let me worry about it. It's not important.
Oh,
We're outside. We can pop you out some Terrai meal here.
I'm more concerned because the university throws you guys out after a month if we...
Well, I've still made stated before that I'm not all that concerned about what they think. If I need to return to the Darkened Vale, it's a simple matter. I can be back the next day. Despite what many believe, we actually have to consume the souls of the living, nourish ourselves. More like a matter of back home, it's more like getting a matter of getting a good night's rest in sanctioned soil. And I myself, in this stage between all of you, I'm not exactly. I'm Terrai in name only. I came about my unlife state by a different means. And that's as much as I'll say on that. But
Great. I
trust me when
I don't have to kill you today. That's good.
trust me when I say that it's not important.
I feel slightly more comfortable with that knowledge.
That's a lot to ask. But,
And I trust you because I've seen you fight, Tobias. I've just also seen Terrai go crazy, and I was just more concerned about that.
Well,
No offense.
no, none taken. I'm not. I am going to ask you to have to put a bit of faith in it, because honestly, there's a lot about my condition that I don't understand myself. But what I do know is I don't. My methods of self-nourishment are unique, and the rules that apply to most terror I don't exactly apply to. But if need be, I will simply return to the Darker Vale, rest for a short time, and return satiated.
He'll be right back.
If need be. I just know that your month that you've said you've been there almost a month now. I didn't
Well,
think you wanted to cause any more or any issues in that respect. Correct?
no, I don't intend to cause issues. Although there are a few people there that I'm convinced do need feeding on, but then I leave that to somebody else.
So, two important questions. One, are you capable of feeding in that fashion?
I've never tried. I was willing to, though.
I can understand that. Two, well, you've never tried. Okay, that kind of answers it. When you need to rejuvenate yourself or supply yourself with energies or whatever, is going to the Darkened Vale the way to do it, or do you have other options?
Darkened Vale exists so that Terrai have a safe haven to live without disturbing the lives of the living around them.
And I think there's a little more to it than that, but okay, that's the basics.
The point, the land, most of the Terrai are sustained by the land itself. Put a blunt point on it. The need to feed is eliminated, if not mitigated, if not eliminated. I'm exempt from many of the needs that the average Terran would be bound to because of the nature of my condition.
Well, it sounds like you would do well to find out more about the nature of your condition, since you say you're not entirely familiar. And it may do you well to find some trustworthy souls and apply some scientific process at the university. Or I can do it if you wish.
We have facilities in the Darkened Vale where we can conduct studies outside of the watchful eye of people like the Calvin.
Fair enough. And yet you don't know. I would find this a strong motivator, personally.
I've taken a brief deviation from my research to help establish the Darkened Vale as a sovereign nation, and hopefully a place where Terrai can retreat to, where they will be not hunted down like animals, and where they are free from their more bestial desires. Once that's done, I will, of course, if I'm still here, I will return to my research to try to understand exactly what I am.
Understood. I personally put science before politics, but it's understandable under the circumstances.
Well, it's hard to ignore genocide.
Indeed.
Well, I think heading back to Marbleport would be a best solution right now. Get information. Maybe find someone there who knows about these people if
By nature, they're very exclusive from what I understand. I think they're more the people that you don't find them, they contact you, which is exactly what that letter is.
Never did like that.
Me neither. Like I said, it's always these people that have the knack for the act. Their cloak and daggers and
Yeah.
secret messages at night.
It's not just the knack. It's that combination of the overinflated ego and desire for an anonymity.
I'm sure it's great fun.
Oh, yeah. It's great fun on the inside, maybe. I'm sure they're giggling about it right now.
Sipping a cup of tea, giggling in their frock coats.
We should also see about potentially being able to see divination scry sensors.
And or ward against them.
Yeah.
Did someone say wards? I might actually have something for that.
Now that we know that they're spying on us.
Out of character, I do have access to Mordenkainen's private sanctum, which I don't remember if that wards
I
described or not.
think that only works if you're gonna be like having a stationary little area for a while, like while we're camping maybe.
I'm looking at it now.
It's like a field or a region. Basically.
Practice is going to smile and say, I gave them a show last night then, if they were scrying.
Practice for stuff like that, depending on the people, they'll either watch and giggle or turn the scryer off. And say, well, that was boring. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Is there a difference between private sanctum and Mordenkainen's private areas? Okay, so it lasts, it's a casting time of 10 minutes, so it's a ritual. Duration is 24 hours. Let's see, the sensors created by divination spells can't appear inside the protected area or pass through the barrier at its perimeter. Nothing can teleport into or out of the warded area. Planar travel is blocked within the warded area. So if someone had cast a 4th level spell over Elena, she wouldn't have been able to...
Well, that's a gate. I don't know if that still counts for that.
Gates,
Dimensional travel, yeah.
But it's nice for private conversation, yes.
Yeah.
Guys, tonight is a makeup session, so it's not our normal time. So I'm going to put a pin in the session right here. We're going to keep playing tonight, but we're going to take a 10-minute intermission. And then we'll pick up right here with you guys deciding where you want to go. Okay.
Okay.
120-foot area.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, feel free to keep
After
talking.
these messages.
Holy shit, JD's still here. Thought you ran away a while ago.
Notice nobody's been interacting with Teak and she's not feeling super social right now, so...
Why do people keep on watching? So yeah, just Mordenkainen's private sanctum whenever we need to
Keep things
have some
private.
alone time.
Yep.
Also, abjuration as a class is stupid good.
It's so nice to have legit magic users.
I mean, this is a wizard I can.
Ogun, you're a magic user, but you're mainly built for forms, you know?
Oh yeah. No, I'm the magic part. I mean, seriously, if I could get bigger, more terrifying forms, I would probably give up at least half the magic just for that. I actually kind of do, because I'm using it to heal myself as I go, so I can keep chewing on things and not have to slow down.
What do you mean? Teek's a 1.5 caster.
Well, that's true.
Not even. Paladin Warlock is like maybe 3/4 of a caster.
Paladins or warlocks are considered casters.
Yeah, but as soon as you start,
They?
as soon as you start dabbling or something, it's then you're diluting the mix, you know, and then you're only just a little tipsy instead of fully drunk on power, and it just isn't quite as impressive at that point. I should know. I dabbled a little bit too.
That was a call.
Don't worry, this.
He
Sorry,
points
go
at the shield scar above his left ear. See, right there. This is. I'm one of the fighters. I was the front line for a good while. Until
All right.
I decided I needed to study some more nature. So.
I am back, and the reason why we need to take an intermission is finished, so whenever everybody is ready, we can start again, or if anybody needs a bathroom
doesn't take
break or
Brendan long,
anything,
does
we're
it?
good. Yeah! You know, just a quick 10-minute handy.
So yeah, I'm ready to hunt mushrooms again.
And right where the mushroom goes.
Oh, you were really excited about these mushrooms. Hey, Brandon, just a quick nature check for old buddy Sindri.
Give me the goddamn mushroom.
Like, is there anything else that's likely to be up here on this very cold mountain?
Useful
Oops,
thing.
that was not supposed to be with advantage. That's normal.
Could I use investigation?
There. That. 8. Lame.
Let's see. Well, I rolled a die for what was around Ogun when you were doing stuff earlier on that. Yeah, and you got like a 98 on that, which is why you found like the rare ingredients. Okay. I already rolled the die for Sindri, but I have to go see what else would be on this mountain. Nothing that immediately comes to mind. Oh god, I just saw Rob's comment in the live campaign. Alright. JD, are you there?
I am.
Shelby, are you there?
I am.
Okay. Anthony, are you there? I just saw your mic light up.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody comfortable with starting?
Yep.
Alright. Jump back into it. Let me look at what was just rolled. As soon as roll 20 catches up. Alright, we are Baccaronis, and let's see, you rolled an 11 on that. Give me a foraging check. It's going to be a survival check for Sindri, for looking for more fire caps.
Survival? What about nature? Can I do nature?
Nature is for information. Actually, like, going out and trying to find stuff, though, that's going to be your ability to pick and forage on survival. And for real quick, Jeff, for Ogun, you are aware earlier when I told you of the mushrooms you found, that I told you found 4 of them, right?
I heard 2.
Okay, yeah, I know you gave away 2, but you did find 4 in total.
Okay, well, he handed over all 4 then, because I don't think he's got any particular use for them.
Okay, I didn't know if you were just like spreading them around or what. But you are not. Sindri is not going to find any of these other mushrooms. You are going to find a few, but you know, Ogun's just gonna like probably point and like, oh, those are just gonna give you an upset tummy, and there's nothing good to distill from that. It's just mold.
If Raktas lends his eyes, would he give him advantage?
No, I'm actually going to rule this area has been picked over. Sindri's percentage die came up as 21%. So
Yeah. The other thing is that this is the top of a volcanic mountain. It is barren as fuck up here. So
True.
you found 4 whole mushrooms and some pipeweed, a pound of it on the side of the mountain. That is fucking
Damn
excellent.
good.
That is a good haul. Time to go home.
Yeah, let's move on.
That's the old Toby on the mountainside.
all right.
Cinder-
So the
Cinderball idly rubbed the Earth Fire Crystal in his pouch.
okay. The discussion was, I think, either going back to the college and trying to find out more about these people, or going to Marbleport and trying to find these people.
Vote college.
I would as well. I was kind of pulled out of what I was doing rather abruptly.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm definitely wanting to go to the college.
All right.
Well, not actually the college, but
Yeah.
the city.
Teak, you've been awfully quiet.
She nods. Just some stuff on my mind.
I figured you, if anyone, would want to jumped in when random person shows up delivering messages. Start smiting the wicked.
My apologies. I will be more keen in the future.
All right, no objections. We're going to the university. Who's gonna drive? Who's gonna drive the wagon?
Yeah. Who's teleporting?
I can't remember if I.
Ogan has 1 use left on his helmet. You still have your 7th level spell available. The university has a permanent sigil, so whoever teleports, it's 100% guaranteed to get there.
Okay.
Just
And I
tell
assume
me
the
who's
helm is not a. The helm will not explode if I use the last charge or anything like that.
I don't think so. Not with teleportation. Most wands have the chance to fade to dust, but I think the helmet teleportation just does. Before you make that decision, I will give you that
Yeah, I'll
information
double check it.
proper.
Helmet teleportation
174.
Just spin the
receives
cells.
new charges daily at dawn.
Yeah, it does not. It does not turn to dust if you use all of its charges.
Okay, he'll use it then.
Alrighty. And I'm presuming you're going to the Bailson Sanctum inside the university?
Yeah.
Alright. No.
The circle, the usual
Yeah.
spot.
No 100% dice needed. As always, the Bailson Sanctum is the large theater-like room. On the stage is the massive teleportation circle. There are individuals of the university moving in every which direction here. Your coming and going is a common occurrence, and even if you guys start walking off the circle, probably about 10 seconds after you guys, somebody else teleports into the university and begins walking down the steps.
Look who that is. Who's that?
No, it's just a person.
Fractus is going to leave the group for obvious reasons.
Have fun storming the castle.
Hey, Fractus.
Hmm.
Before you knock Uglies with an high elf again, do you mind if I chat with her for a few minutes?
Hey, you want a piece?
No, there's some questions I wanted to ask about something.
It's a random bystander. Hey.
So you want to kill the mood? Alright.
Oh, please, I'm sure you could talk up any mood you wanted again.
Yeah, let's go.
Romance, here we go.
Alright, so Soulmate...
I thought they called that a
wait.
threesome.
Wait, before you run off as well, are you holding some extra money that I could utilize? I need to get a few things. Make us all some nice potions.
Maybe what you need.
500 gold to do.
Soulmate throws you 400.
100.
All right.
I remember a time when in this campaign it was a miracle when we got 100 gold piece between 5 people.
Right?
Thank you. I'll make a good use of it, and you'll all receive benefit.
That's still Group D, don't worry.
Our funds are getting low, though, by the way. Not
I don't
super
believe you.
low. Not super low, but I'd like to have a lot more than
We're
we
under
do.
25k.
Yes,
Dun
we
dun
are.
dun.
We are definitely under 25k.
I'm under 100.
How can we afford our gold to leave toilet paper?
Eh.
Alright, so Soulmane and Fractus head towards seeing Boskai.
Yes.
What's the rest of the party want to do? Ogun, Sindri, Teak, and Tobias.
Go to whatever department would be most likely to know about this circle.
I'm
So,
going to go with Ogun. I promise I won't cast Fireball.
history or arcane or the sub-department that does both.
Brandon, I actually messaged Boskai, let her know that we're coming.
Oh, the Sending Stone?
Yeah.
I'll bring you a +1.
Okay, yeah, it has not been used today. I had to think about it. It is the night of the 27th, by the way. Alright, so Ogun's going to find out more about the circle, presumably from from the conjuration department. Is everybody else following him, or does anybody else want to split off?
Sindri will split off. He needs to go buy some components and maybe work with his alchemy set for a bit.
Alright. Alright, so Ogun, Teak, and Tobias head towards investigating this circle. Ogun, give me a intelligence check, and if you want, I have not looked at it yet. I will let you substitute it for an investigation check.
I'll take that.
Incredible.
Well, yeah, I just clicked over and saw that 3, but yeah.
You say an intelligence check?
Yeah, and this is for information of who might know anything about that circle.
Yeah,
and
and whether or not they stay up late.
Are you guys asking about the circle of elves as far as the marriage circle, or are you asking about the teleportation circle?
The circle of elves, assuming
Okay.
they're all elves.
Okay. And then let's see. Did I need anything from the other group? Nope. You guys can walk straight to Boskai. Okay. Do you guys have any preference on who we handle first out of the 3 of you? Otherwise, I'll just roll it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna roll a die. 1, 2, Sindri. 3, 4, Ogun and Teak and Tobias, and 5, 6. Practice and Soulmane. Had to remember all who was with you. 3. All right. So Ogun, Teak, and Tobias. You guys are putting your heads together and asking around. Cultural studies would be in the Southern Commons. However, if these people are probably as elusive and reclusive as you think they are, Tobias is going to suggest the Ali Gargan library in the Calgaran ward, or asking Dilo and Rona herself, as she used to be an elf, but that was 3,000 years, or rather, she used to live in Rion, but that was 3,000 years ago.
Yes, I suggest those things with words.
Yeah. So, Elven culture, the Southern Commons, specifically trying to look up information about these people, the library, Ali Gargan library, asking a contact, Dilo and Rona.
So, Considering Dila's statements to Ogun about when she's likely to be up and listening to Sending Stones, where is that compared to right now?
She'd be
Or
awake.
when is that compared to her? Okay, let's go talk to her. If nothing else, it'll be an interesting, like, oh, by the way, someone says they're kind of on our side. She maybe should know that.
But if we tell her and they didn't want her to, they'll kill her.
She's a little harder to kill than that, and that will do a lot of potential progress in the way of tipping their hand and a few other things.
But this is Brandon we're talking.
Hey, if you
his
should know
character.
anything about me, it is that I have trouble killing literally everybody in this campaign. I don't know how Alward died. I tried killing you, and you just somehow miraculously survived.
It's almost like I made a character that you couldn't easily kill, Brandon.
But yeah,
I wouldn't say I made a tank, but I made a tank.
A wizard tank.
I think this group now has the most amount of people who have lost characters in the campaign.
Yeah, fair.
I'm amazed that the entirety of Route 1 was just like for half the shit they got into.
Yeah, Group 1 lost 2 people and three. We'll talk about that after the session, though. You guys are going to go to the Heroes Tower and look for Dila. Of course, you are let in, and I'm going to roll a percentage die of if there is anybody important here. Barely important. Alright, heading into the tower. Climbing the floors, you guys are going to see, and obviously, you know, Dila's the only person who lives in this tower, and only a madman attacks it. So you can just look up at the tower, see the floor of like what candles and torches are lit, and head to that room. You're going to see Dila is in a smaller office than her normal one, just a few floors below the top tower. She is in council with a woman you don't recognize. And what is this lady's name?
She wouldn't happen to be dressed the same as our little messenger, would they? Would she?
No, she is actually dressed as part of the Queen's Court here, and she is going to say, like, as you guys are walking in, she's going to say, I hope that this meeting of protocol has informed or has reminded you properly of how you're supposed to inform the Queen when you have a meeting of dignitaries inside the university. I understand they were doing work that relates to the university, but if it also relates to the well-being of Lil Nagai, the Queen herself should be informed of it, and I, her speaker, should be in attendance. Dila is going to stand up and say, "Of course, Taurai. Is that everything?" She is going to nod and say, "I'll have a Risen member in the morning with a copy of my lectures signed and for your vaults or for your records." Dila is going to nod and say, "Of course, if you would." She gestures to the door. I wonder. I think I have a card for this lady because she's appeared before. Anyways, she's going to see you guys as she steps into the hallway, and obviously, you know, you guys see her, and Dila is immediately behind her. Say that again.
I said, we lock eyes. It's a standoff, boys.
Killer.
Draw.
I'm kidding. Okay, I don't know where I put her character card. I've got the Queen's character card, but I don't have the Queen's speaker. Anyways, this lady is going to walk by you. She's got her dark tan Elonigian skin. She wears glasses, and there's a spell tome at her waist, where you'd expect a ledger of a risen member. She also has the School of Graces insignia on the chest of her dress. I say with quotation marks. If you guys just lock eyes and she walks by, Dila is going to speak up to you and say, "Have you located the site that I sent you after?"
Not yet. We had some other business to tend to.
She begins walking towards the stairwell, gesturing for you to follow.
Follow.
Okay.
And she is going to nod and say, "And I don't want any of you to feel like the weight of the world falls on your shoulders. You're not the only team I have working on this endeavor."
Our own concerns are, our own level of concern is going to vary, but very much larger groups have attempted to secure some of the things or attempting to do the sort of things we're attempting to do. We have succeeded where they have failed, so we don't know these people. We have to rely on ourselves quite a bit.
And she is going to nod and say, "Well, if you have any update, my evening is going to be spent in study."
Okay, well, this is a bit of a thing to study, perhaps. So, we got a little bit of a visit when we were doing the burial rites of Alward and Kara, his bear. This weird elf showed up. She left us a note. Here's the note. And she said her benefactor or whatever doesn't want the Milanthagar to succeed, which I'm generally okay with, but however, they were not really forthcoming with useful information or helpfulness or any of that. So they are suspicious and knew entirely too much about what we've been up to lately. So the question is, are they known? Did you contact them directly, or anyone that we know of? Was that intentional, or was that somebody's playing their own game?
She's not going to read over this, the note, and obviously it's the names, right? And it's on this note, it's just the names, the faction they're a part of, their profession, and where they live. And she's going to say, "Why are these names significant?"
What was the rest of what she said? What the messenger said?
Out of character, it was basically that they would be able to point us to the area or closer to the hidden temple. The temple hidden by magic.
And they're in some way affiliated with the Gindem, though.
Maybe. That was our...
Or the way that she put it, they seem to have acquired them.
Dila is going to exhale and say, "Gindenthal. It's about that time again, isn't it?" She's going to nod and say, these individuals, Alan and Kuiper, they are both a part of Nazaram. She points at the paper. The First Pillar in Nazendale, or the Emissary in Sky's Reach, the Queen's Records, or the Second Pillar inside of Marbleport. any of those locations would have information about these men, their recruitment records, their enlistment records. They'd all be on file. She hands the paper back to you.
I'm wondering a bit less about them and more about this messenger that showed up. Whether or not that organization is to be trusted or not. Because that does seem like the sort of thing that Elena and company would do to lay a trap.
And she's going to nod and say, the physiology of Dorai is a peculiar thing. Our lives are infinite, but our lifespans are infinite, but our minds are not. It's unfortunate, but the information that you need from me has long since left. I remember it vaguely, flashes, ideas. She's gonna lead you into her office and say, she's gonna lead you to her office and lead you to the pillars and say, there's one though who might, or not to the pillars, to the statues, staring at the only statue of, oh no, she has two men here. One of them is a well-dressed man, where the rest of these statues are in heroic and inspiring poses. This one has a rapier at its side, and it looks indignant.
Well, this is how someone should look when they're just getting turned into stone. Cranky about it.
Dila is going to nod and say, What do you know of Lona Guy's penal system? Or punishment system?
That I've evaded it once or twice?
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
She chuckles and says, petrification is reserved for the most heinous of crimes. If you damage or destroy someone's soul with the intent of doing so or seek to, if you take away somebody else's afterlife, yours is therefore removed. Petrification, eternally.
Okay, fair enough, I guess.
She is going to point to the statue and say, This man was once a friend of mine. But the last time we spoke was during the second shattering. Or no, last time we spoke was during the start of the Kayak Wars. She's gonna say every couple hundred years I give him several days to breathe and move about freely, with the agreement that if he returns, he won't be ground to stone like the rest of those who suffer this fate. She's going to look at you, then look at him, and then she casts Dispel Magic. You are going to see this person's features. The cloth that is on the stone is, of course, still cloth. The rapier is still a rapier. However, the flesh that is the white marble is slowly going to start gaining pigment. All right. After a second, this man is going to fall to his knees for a second, then prop himself back up on his rapier, inhaling and taking a sharp breath. And let's go to some different music. There we go. This is appropriate.
Agent.
He's got shaggy black hair, and he's going to look up at Dila and say, "How many years has it been?" And she's going to speak up and say, 513 this time. He is going to just move his head side to side, and is he going to attack? He's going to pick up his rapier and move to stab Dila, and she is going to smack it out of his hand, and roll a contested athletics check to disarm him. Rolling a 10 as a wizard, and she... What's her strength modifier? -1, 9, and he rolls a 6. So, whatever. She's just gonna smack this rapier out of his hand.
It's like two nerds having a slap fight.
Alright. Hogan grabs him by the collar, headbutts him, so he has a bloody nose. Seriously, asshole.
And he's going to struggle a little bit in your grip, and then he's gonna calm down. And Dila does not at all look disturbed by this, and say he tries every time. He's
understandable at the same time, dude. Seriously.
I mean, you could just take away his weapon.
Fair point.
But then the statue won't look as good.
No, it's much funnier if you balance the sword on his head.
And he's going to say, "What do you want this time?" And she's going to say, "There's a circle of Gendenthal controlled by elves. I know it." And he's going to say, "Yeah, you and her were exiled." And she's going to say, "Her?" He is going to... Well, you know what? He's going to say, "I want a week this time." As he struggles against Ogun. Dila is going to hold a hand up at Ogun for you to release him, and she's going to say 5 days.
Hogan sets him down, still eyeing him suspiciously.
Days of freedom or 10 minutes with Ogun, you choose.
All right. He is going to say. He's going to say. All right. All right. We fought together in the forests of Alyan. That's where you found me. She's going to say, "What is her name?" And he's going to crick his neck side to side and say, "A Yandel?" And he's going to say, and she's going to say, "What else do you know about her?" And he shakes his head and says, "She was exiled at the same time as you were. You guys were both leading us." And she's going to think on it for a moment, and then nod and say, "Well, she's definitely going to cast Gias on him." And say, "Return in 5 days." And he is going to nod. And yeah, I think he's just going to look at Ogun. And she's gonna exhale and say, troublesome one that one is, but he's useful.
Evidently. Sort of, anyways.
Especially when you keep them armed.
Under the circumstances, it looks like armed is more of a matter of amusement than actual danger.
Everyone says that until they get stabbed in the face.
I've been stabbed in the face. They died right after that. Still.
Or just not get stabbed in the face. Oh.
Oh, I usually prefer it, yeah. But under the circumstances, I think the odds of getting stabbed in the face, considering that he's not learning any new skills being a rock.
I'm just saying that prisoners don't usually keep their weapons.
Yeah.
Dila is going to say he was and is a good man. Nonetheless,
Still seems
what he's done.
Still seems cranky about it.
Yeah. It's unforgivable.
Yeah. Someone who's nice to you and not nice to the porter is not a nice person.
Dila is going to nod and say, in any case, I wrote down my memories. I wrote down my memories of my time in Alien when I first discovered this continent. Few of them have survived to this era, but I'll scour them for anything I know of this woman.
Okay.
Or knew of this woman.
I guess the big question there is just if you remember enough now. Are they worth trusting? Do you think their goals will actually sufficiently align that we're not going to have to worry about them stabbing us in the back later? Or is that something you should look at your notes first to find out?
Dila is going to say, hey, Yandel, we came to this continent together with the same ideal. Humanity needed to be guided. I haven't spoken to her in thousands of years. I can see her face. But she shakes her head.
People change, especially the oldest ones? I don't know. I guess it depends on the person.
Dila is gonna nod and say, if you see him around town, keep an eye on him, will you?
Sure. Does he need to be followed, or is it just if I happen to run into him?
Yes. And she's gonna say there's hardly any trouble he can get into with no gold and no contacts in this era.
A big mouth and a little begging I could see being quite a bit of trouble. Alright, I'll follow him. At least I have a scent. He wipes his forehead, gets the blood, smells it.
Alright, do Tobias, Ogun, and Teak leave?
Sure. Sure enough.
Alright, as you guys leave, this guy rolled garbage for his stealth check. You're going to see him lurking in a corridor of the hallway. As you do, obviously, he's going to notice that you guys have noticed him, and he's going to step out. You guys are walking down the hallway, and he's going to say, what does she have you doing for her?
All sorts of things, but she's doing something for me at the moment, looking up some bits of the past to inform the present. In the meantime, you have 5 days of freedom, to some extent. She asked me to keep an eye out for you, and I think you would do well to just kind of follow along, since I have other things to do and would hate to drag you along by a rope. So, come along. Unless you want to fight me about it.
He's going to start walking and say, she has you hunting down a Gindenfell circle for you?
Kind of the other way around. The Gindenfell actually came looking for us. Not in a mean way, but a semi-friendly and entirely too suspicious way. How secretive were they back in the day, anyways?
He shrugs and says, I don't know. But they've, I fought them before, several times. You always know, he's gonna say, you always know it's them. They always, no matter how many times you kill them, they always find their way back into this world. Covered in scars, covered in charms, however it be, are covered in burns, wounds. You know the exact one you stabbed. You might see him again in 10 years.
Annoying. I usually prefer people stay dead. So how do you kill him proper? That's a laugh of somebody that sounds like somebody knows just enough that they think they shouldn't be saying, but they really should, and they just don't know it yet. Because you should. You really should.
He's gonna say, I killed one before.
That what landed you in the rock prison?
He nods and says, you can only do it before they get to her. Before they get to the inside of the circle. You destroy their soul, everything that is of them, that they're no more. You can't come back from that.
I don't imagine not.
Does he have any more information? Well, you know what? He's gonna say that. And then in a completely different tone, he's going to say, so, how about a drink? I only get one every 500 years or so.
I think we could do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, we have our next possible source is the library?
Yes.
Hey, Brandon,
is that where you head? Yes. What's up, Shelby?
Out of character, is this the great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of Wesley?
Of Wesley?
Yeah, not our player Wesley, but Group F's Wesley.
Group F's Wesley? Oh no, gosh, it would be great if it was. I think you're thinking of Willis Calcador?
Oh, Willis. Yeah, sorry. I think of Willis.
What you talking about?
No, but it would be great if it was. The spirits be telling me to hit you in the face. Alright, so you guys head towards the library. We are going to jump Evans, Fractus, and Soulmane. Odd Sindri. Alright, Sindri goes looking for ingredients, and you said you were doing one other thing. It slipped my mind.
Making some potions.
Okay. We don't have to RP that.
Sure.
Okay, so are there any specific ingredients you're looking for?
I'd like a couple 100 gold piece pearls, and some gold dust, some iron dust. Basically like a spell component pouch that covers most basic spell components as well.
Okay, there is going to be a reagent shop inside of the university on the campus someplace, and they would sell the needed components at base retail price. So if you want to look at,
Do I get the university discount?
no, well, yes, they do give you the university discount because the university bookstore is super expensive, and then they give you the discount that puts it at base price.
Okay, so that's my guild price.
Yeah, always buy your books from Amazon or the used bookstore.
Good point.
There's a specific page where I know these items are on, and I'm about to give it to you as soon as I remember what it is.
Okay.
All right, if you have a player's handbook with you, and you turn to page 157, there is a trade goods page. You can buy any of those trade goods you listed for their exact conversion price. So you're looking for silver. You can get a pound, which would be like a large nugget or a small palm-sized ingot of silver for 5 gold pieces. And then for a similar ingot of gold, it would be 50 gold pieces. And then you said something else that slipped my mind. And you can file both of those into dust.
File them what?
You can file them into dust, like gold shavings and silver shavings.
Okay.
And then you said you were making
pearls. Pearls.
Oh, pearls. Yeah, and they would sell you a pearl worth 100 gold.
So they have 2?
Identify. Do they have 2? Well, yes, they would have multiples of these. They are not consumed, so, if...
Oh, I only need 1.
Yeah, you only need 1 unless you want to give it to another person. On hand, they'd have 4. I was rolling to see if they'd have a Pearl of Power. They do not. They are sold out of those currently. And then you can craft a potion. It's going to take 8 hours of work, and you work towards it, I believe, at double the pace as an alchemist, so 50 gold.
I think it might be quadruple the pace. I'll have to double check.
Okay, yeah, if you just link me the feat, you'll work at it at that pace.
Okay, be right back.
Alright, and we are going to jump over to Framain.
Out of curiosity, Brendan, is our other favorite alchemist in
No, I put a 3-day timer on her. She's still 2 days away.
Okay.
Alright. It is the evening of 27th as you guys are going towards... I forgot the name of this inn that you guys headed to. Singing Ghost Tavern. Inside of Honor's Reach. Why would you take her there? That's not a nice place. Whatever. Okay. What's up, Shelby?
I don't think that was the tavern, but sure, whatever. I'm gonna stop and get flowers.
Okay.
If I can. What do I need to roll?
Oh, nothing. You'll be able to pick those up from a merchant. They've got seed lilies at a gold for 1 gold for an entire bushel of these, which would be a huge, bucket-sized planter. Otherwise, if you want individuals of their flowers, you can buy less fancy flowers at 5 copper for a bouquet.
How much will 5 gold give me?
5 gold well, the seed lilies are a special plant. They glow with light, and they can be planted anywhere. And
Okay,
they kind of
that's what I want. I want 5 gold worth of the glow lilies.
that's a lot of flowers. That's a lot of flowers, Practice. So think of like a 10-gallon bucket of dirt and just like, a whole like half a bush planted in here of these flowers. And only half this bucket would be like filled with like dirt, and it wouldn't be a bucket; it'd be like a wooden planter. And yeah, you can buy 5 of these things.
All
You
right,
can
I'll just buy
transport.
one. 'cause
Okay, I was
don't-
gonna say you can transport 2 under your arm and make Soulmane carry the other 2 and try and balance the last one. Do you want one, or do you want to go all 5?
No, I'll just do one.
Okay. All right. So you guys are going to head towards, and I was looking at. Okay, so she might be an honors walk because that would make more
Yeah,
sense.
that sounds about better.
Yeah. Okay, the Singing Ghost isn't the awful place. But yeah, I'm gonna say you guys placed her at the Heroic Star Inn. Oh, nope, she was at the Singing Ghost Tavern. I remember because there was an NPC there that I placed that you guys got into a scuffle with. Yep, yes. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so you are going to go to the Singing Ghost Tavern and flowers in hand, Soulmane not far behind, and yeah, you guys walk into this place, and it is let's see, let me close in that, and let me get a description of this place. It is it's very clean. How occupied is it? Loud and cheerful. Okay. Yeah, so it's like going to be a typical night for Honors Reach. There's going to be the place is going to be positively bustling with nightlife. And this is a place more where kind of the commoners rub shoulders with the upper class merchants, even though Lil Nagai doesn't have a class system. You'll see fancy people sitting at tables with just like dock workers and other travelers who roam in and out of the table. These are in and out of the city. The serving staff is moving all about in this place. And is our entertainment tonight fancy? Alright, so they have several dancers here tonight for the entertainment. They are not very good. What do you guys want to do?
Is Boskai in there?
Yeah. Her and part of her entourage would be downstairs enjoying a drink. They're standing closest to the stage, and it seems that they're pointing at these dancers, and one of the members from the circle, he is up and dancing too, although his dance is completely different. His is more of like a kata, like a rehearsed martial arts step, whereas the women and men on the stage kind of have like a sensual line dance going between them. And Boskai and her circle are all enjoying their own performance more than these others. It's kind of rude.
You're gonna go say hello to your woman there, Fractal?
Sure, let's go. So, we're just gonna come up. You said they were standing?
No, they're all around a table. One of her circle members is standing and dancing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go up to the table. Is there an open seat?
Yeah. Presumably, there are 4 open seats actually. There are 3 people at this table, including both Sky.
So I'm gonna sit down as close to Boast Guy as I can. I don't know if she's has her circle around her or if they're off to the side, but
they're scattered around this table. Yeah, and yeah, you could sit right next to her, and she's going to look up at you and say, practice.
And I'm gonna go. How is my little flower?
And she's going to say, if you knew anything of the forests of Rion, no flower stays little forever, and no plant on the forest floor belongs to any one person. And she is going to tap your nose and say, delightfully inebriated.
I'm gonna smile and say I brought you something, and I'm gonna show her the planter.
Does she? No, I don't think she can awaken them. And
Do they need light to awaken?
No. It's. I think it takes her concentration.
It's her superpower.
That's right. What else?
Yeah, she can only awaken small plants. No, she is a high elf, but I replaced the high elf ability of the free magic they get with each clan gets a specialized thing. Her clan can awaken small plants at a touch. It is instantaneous, and yeah. She is going to touch the plant, and a couple of the awakened shrubs are going to pop off and run to the floor and start dancing in a circle around the member of her circle who's dancing.
Practice is going to lean over and whisper in her ear. So what are you going to name those?
She's gonna return them to the dirt. They make drugs out of seed lilies.
Righteous is gonna smile and say, I hope they're good. And then he looks at her seriously and say, you'll have to teach me a little bit. I am a lovely human.
Mm-hmm.
And then I give her a little sly grin.
Alright. Now, if you have any knowledge about drugs in Ilderon, because Fractus's upbringing was like a little bit on the other side of the tracks, you can roll me a history check or a medicine check, and I'll put it at DC 15. Or no, I'll say DC 14. I'll say DC 14. Because it's hard, but it's a little bit easier for practice.
Yep, but I still suck at it.
Okay.
Would I have any inkling being literally a criminal?
Did
Yeah,
Sindri
go ahead.
see him carrying that around?
No, Sindri's not there.
I know.
History or medicine? Let's do history because it's slightly better.
Yeah, and you're gonna hit. It's gonna be a 15 for Soulmane because it's not. Practice literally grew up in a gambling and drug den. For Soulmane, though, you are going to as Fractus and Boskai are flirting and talking about these flowers. you're going to recall the drugs aren't made from seed lilies. It's made from the dirt and rocks seed lilies grow on, particularly from the minerals they pull out of the ground.
Hmm. How much did you pay for that fractus? Because the dirt that it grows in is what they use to make the drugs.
I spent the gold, but it was worth it.
Boss guy, can I ask you a question?
She's gonna say, "Yep," and she's gonna shake her head and say, "I mean, you mean Your Grace? Yes."
Your Grace. That's the second. How well do you know some noble high elf families?
And she's gonna say, well, my mom practically was on the council, the first council, and the second council that determines Dahlias.
Would you recognize any of their iconology or symbols if you were to see it?
She's gonna nod and say, "Oh yeah, I saw a lot of symbols. I'm a messenger for our circle. I talked to," and she burps and points at the air and says, "Ha!" I talked to lots of Dahlias that have spread out over the world.
Okay. Soulman's gonna grab some parchment and ink, and he's going to try to redraw the symbol from the vision.
Should I make you make a performance check for that? Didn't I make you write that down someplace?
You had me write down that you're going to ask about the family sigil. You'd never told me what you were going to make me roll for it.
Yeah, I remember you told me you took time to remember it. I'll give you a performance check with advantage. I thought I had you write it down someplace, but if I did not, I did not. Alright. You are going to sit and try and scribble this sigil to the best of your ability. And Bosky is going to... Bosky is going to, like, look at it and say, Nope. One of the women sitting at the table is going to lean over and say, Cassandori, Your Grace. And she's going to say, yes. Hi, Lord Cassandori.
What do you know of this high...
She's gonna roll a history check. And, and she's gonna shrug. And the woman is going to look like very embarrassed and say, you got into a feud with him over my hand. He wanted it too. And she's, oh yeah, that's right. You were supposed to be a Shadow Knight. She nods and says, Well, this is much more fun. She gestures at the tavern. The woman again nods.
Is the woman the one I accidentally kissed?
You know what? I'll roll you an evens or odds. Evens it is, odds it is not. Evens it is.
Let's see. And where does he reside?
And are you still talking about this guy? Because at this point you should be talking
No,
about the other lady.
I've
She's
literally
hard in thought right now.
Yeah,
Like-
I've literally shifted my attention from Boskai to the one who's actually answering the questions.
I have to look real quick. Give me 1 second because I know where he is. I just need to see how she would say this to you. Alright. She is going to say, High Lord Cassandori is, on the Council of Eternal Wardens in Aliam. He lives in Shadowtop. And she's going to slam her fist against the table and just say, Shadowtop!
At that, I'm gonna look around and see if anybody is paying too close of an attention.
Roll me a perception check.
Well, that was garbage roll.
Yeah, just taking note of like who else is in the bar here. God, there is somebody who is here. Oh, let's see. I want to put that there and that there. Let me look at this person real quick. Because this person. Yeah, so you are going to see, you're going to see a woman, there. She's sitting a few tables away from you. She has a eye patch on, and on her one good eye, it is glowing, with, gosh, I should have looked at this before I closed that. It is glowing with, green light. She looks elven, but she looks spindly for an elf. Occasionally, she keeps looking in your direction, and then back to the occupants at her table. It's the only person you notice that is paying you any sort of attention.
I'll keep an eye on her.
All right.
Cassandori, Shadowtop. Thank you, ladies.
Practice holds up a finger to Soulmate. Stick for a minute. And Practice is actually going to lean over to Boskai and whisper, do you know of somebody who can help my poor friend spend some company tonight?
Soulmane?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask Boskai if we can set up Soul. I don't know if she'll understand me or not.
She is going to look at Soulmane, and Soulmane looks like a half elf, and she's gonna just say in slurred words, "It's your clan."
He's gonna say in Elvish, Don't know. Don't got one.
And Both Guy is gonna look at Practice, just slinging her head in your direction, and she's gonna say, and she's gonna whisper, but to Soulmane, it's not even a whisper, and she's gonna say, it would be really weird if we were related. She shakes her head.
Practice is gonna say, I understand. And I just let it go.
And she is gonna point at Soulmane's ears and say, I know lots of pretty elves in Lilland.
Soulmane kind of picking up now on what was being said. Looks at Fractus.
Practice just smiles.
And says in Elvish, I'm fine, thanks.
And she's, here we go. She's, gonna say, what? You don't like elves? I'll have you know, Dorai are some of the most elegant and... she, burps.
The last elf I slept with tried to stab me.
Alright, I'm not gonna make that joke. And yeah, if you don't don't take up her offer, they're not gonna keep you there.
Don't stay out too late, Fractus. Have a good night.
Oh, I plan to.
And Soulmane's gonna drop 20 gold on the table to keep their drinks going.
Alright. Does Practice want to ask her anything else? Like any other meaningful question? The rest we'll handle off screen.
Practice has lots of meaningful questions, but no, nothing towards the...
Fair. Okay, let's see. So the rest of the party was headed out to get a drink. Is everybody comfortable with ending there for the night?
I'll just
All
I'll just be sending you details about
That works.
things I buy and things I make, I guess. What was the length of time normally to craft something?
It takes 8 hours of work time, and you
Or how much value or such?
you put 25 gold worth of value towards an item, and Alchemist should have something to either double or, like you said, quadruple that rate.
I could do 100 gold piece worth in 8 hours. Or 100 gold piece.
Which would be like 2 healing potions or something.
But it takes hold on. Half the price. I get half the price, but a quarter of the time. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
100 gold piece worth in 8 hours.
Alright, yeah, I'll do the math on what you get. Alright, so you guys buried outward. You got at least a direction for your quest, whether or not you trust it or not. You squeeze some information out of the messenger. As you know, they say don't shake the messenger or whatever. Then you guys got one of Group B's treasures. The person Dila was going to unpetrify for them. Soulmane, I'm going to give you guys minor experience for Soulmane figuring out who his poppy might be. And anything else major tonight that I'm missing?
I think so.
Oh, I'm gonna give you guys minor experience for Tobias of just like, oh, what are you? It's like, look, don't ask questions. I'm alive, but you're not. Well, I look alive.
Did I not just say to stop asking questions?
Anything else tonight?
I don't know. Did we get anything for learning what little we did learn about our messenger person?
Yeah, I gave you guys major information or major experience for squeezing out information from her.
Okay.
Which,
Just checking.
they're completely irrelevant to your campaign. I feel like you guys were just kind of at a moment of loss, and they would just be like, "Come on, you can do it! Go kill him! Go kill him, Crusade! You got it!" Just like, go help him out.
Yeah, if I'm going to be an arrow, I want to know who's pulling the string back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so that is going to be 1,500 times 4 plus
6,000.
Yeah, 7,500 experience for tonight.
7,500.
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like a little bit more happened tonight, but I guess I'm just not. I guess it's slipped my memory.
Well, the whole ceremony was successful, and
You know what? I'll give you guys
finding rare plants and things. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you guys minor experience for listening to the man and learning about Lil Nagai's legal system. You have somebody who has committed one of the utmost sins inside of Ilderon, destroying a person's soul intentionally, not out of necessity or desperation or anything. And that's, kind of big. So I'm going to give you guys minor experience for that. So that's going to put tonight's total experience is at 8,250. All right, and then your next session, I have it scheduled on
The
your
total XP is at what?
8,250.
How much was the actual experience, Brandon? Because I'd already added the other one.
Oh, that minor experience was 750, so you went from 7,500 to 8,250.
Okay, so 750. Thank you.
Yes. And your guys' next session is going to be next week on the 5th. Can everybody make that, or do you guys want to play on off weeks?
Nope. I'm good with the 5th.
Sounds good.
Closing next Monday. I won't be able to attend to that.
Okay. I'll message you if there's like an agenda you want Tobias to go through. I don't want to reschedule, but if it comes down to it and you're not comfortable with the rest of the group playing, we'll work something out.
No.
All right. I'm going to end the broadcast, and it was a good session tonight.
Yeah.
Side note to you all,